Hi, I'm Zara Hoffman from Inimitable Books, and today I am talking about 18 different websites that every author should bookmark. These are not random recommendations, they are ones that I have been referencing for years, and you definitely don't want to miss out on them. Just a quick note, some of the links in the description down below will be affiliate links, which means you will be monetarily supporting the channel and the publishing company at no extra cost to you. Let's get started. Even after all these years, thesaurus.com is still one of my go-to websites. Yes, there are newer versions and probably more specific ones, but if it works, why change? Reverse Dictionary is a brilliant website that helps you find the word that you can't think of but is on the tip of your tongue. It definitely saves time when writing or editing, and I think it's a great find that a lot of people don't know about. Writer's Digest is pretty much the hub of writing and career advice for authors, and you definitely don't want to miss it. They have courses, they have articles, they have a physical magazine, and if you've never heard of it, get on it. They also have writing craft books, which I love and will be making a video about in the future. Jane Friedman is another fount of knowledge, and her website is really, really great. She breaks down a lot of publishing and writing and business topics that are important to people who are looking to make a career of writing, and you should subscribe to her newsletter. Let's talk about Story Origin. A lot of people are aware of the site, if at all, as a marketing website and an alternative to BookFunnel. But what I use it for most is actually their beta copy feature. It allows me to upload a manuscript chapter by chapter, invite specific readers, and they can leave inline comments, plus rate each book by how much they liked it and how excited they are for the next chapter out of a scale of 5. Plus, if I want to add a specific question at the end of a chapter, I can do that as well. And then I can use it as a task list by marking each comment as planned, done, or ignored. And then if you don't want to get overwhelmed by seeing 5 different readers comment on the same phrase, but all their comments are about different things, you can filter by who left the comment, which is awesome and not something that you can do in Google Docs or a lot of other co-working / track changes and commenting softwares that exist. Everyone needs a password manager for cybersecurity, and I can't recommend any of them more than 1Password. It will be linked down below, and it is something that I've used for years and will probably use for the rest of my life. You're also going to want cloud storage. There is nothing worse than having done a bunch of writing or research and saving files, images that you want to use for marketing, etc., and then losing it. Now, we use the Apple ecosystem, which has iCloud, and we actually pay extra for more storage of that. But in addition to iCloud, we use Google Drive, and we have a link in the description down below where you can get Google Workspace, which is not just Google Drive, which you could use for free, but it also allows you to get a professional email account that uses your website domain instead of it being at gmail.com. Speaking of email, you're going to want to have a good email provider. We used to use Namecheap's partnership with private email, and it was a really good option, but it was a little bit expensive. So we wound up using our website hosting platform, and that's really good. Personally, for my own life that is separate from Inimitable Books, I use ProtonMail for its high encryption, and that is also really good. I mentioned BookFunnel earlier, and for those of you who don't know, it is a great website that you can use to distribute your online ARCs. It collects email addresses for you, you can create landing pages, you get data, and it adds secret watermarks for you if you're worried about piracy, which is an unfortunate thing that happens. You can't let that stop you from getting feedback that might help you with your story, or early readers who can then leave reviews when you are ready to launch your book. Manuscript Wishlist, or MSWL, is a godsend if you are curious about what agents are looking for. They list it out easily, and it is updated regularly, and it will also let you know if an agent that you are looking to query is open or closed. You're also going to want to bookmark Query Tracker, which allows you to submit your queries in many cases and also keep track of when you submitted, whether or not you've heard back, and how long it takes. You're going to want to look at Writers Beware. It is a database filled with warnings of writing and publishing scams for authors, and you don't want to be caught unaware, especially if it is something that people have already talked about and you could have been saved some pain. If you've seen an author post their book announcement, you're going to probably recognize the phrase Publishers Marketplace. Publishers Marketplace has industry news, networking information of agents and editors who have been making deals, and lets people in the publishing industry know how much a book has gone for. Not specific numbers, but it'll give you a range and know that, like, oh, this genre is doing really well because a lot of deals are happening. And that can also be super helpful for authors because you can look up an author and see which agent represents them, which editor bought their most recent book, so you can potentially model your own career after them. I mentioned having a unique domain for an email that looks even more professional than @Gmail, and that means you're going to need a URL, which means you need a domain host. Now, there are ones that have a lot of ads out, and some of them are good, some of them are overpriced, and there is one that is really well known that I know has personally caused a lot of grief for a writer friend of mine. The one that I can't recommend enough is Namecheap. It is cheap. They offer a lot of services. You can pay for extra things like a professional email if you want, although that can get a little bit pricey. So what I would recommend is actually getting your domain and then using Google Workspace, which is linked down below, to make your professional email. But Namecheap has everything you need. It will save you money from WordPress or Squarespace and all those other sites, because why would you spend more when you could save some money and still get what you need? Once you have a domain, you're going to want to use it, and that means you're going to need a website. It is annoying for a lot of people these days to have an online presence, and if you don't want to do social media, which is another topic we can discuss in the future, you should at least have a landing page. You don't need a multi-page website like publishers do or prolific authors, although you might want to in the future. But using a site like Linktree doesn't help build your brand the way you could be doing it on your own personal website. If your domain is first name, last name, and people start Googling that, you're going to rise in the ranks, and then you're going to be more discoverable. People will know that you have a home base, and that is super important in this day and age. To build a beautiful website, there are a lot of options. I used to use Weebly many years ago for my own personal website, zarahoffman.com, but it got expensive and the features were pretty limiting at the time. I believe they have gotten better, but what I then moved on to was Squarespace when I was managing the digital presence of an author, which was the first thing on my resume and has definitely helped me building my publishing career so far. We prefer to use WordPress because while it has a steep learning curve, you can do the most customization with it. It is also home to a lot of awesome plugins, some of which are very specifically tailored to publishing. Our favorite one is the My Book Table plugin, and there is also the My Book Progress plugin. Both are in use on my personal website, and Inimitable Books' website uses the My Book Table plugin to organize all our titles. You can sort them by genre, by author, by tag. It has publishing information. You can add videos to it. You can add book club resources. There's so much you can do with it. So WordPress is definitely our top pick for building an author website. We're going to try to get through the next ones pretty quickly because you use them less for actual work and more for research and aspirational purposes. The first is Amazon. I know it's controversial, but ignoring it isn't going to make it go away. And if your book is going to be published, it will probably end up on Amazon. And knowing how Amazon works, the categories that exist, things that are ranking highly and things that aren't, is super important. After Amazon, though, you're going to want to bookmark your other favorite book retailer. That could be Barnes & Noble, it could be Powell's, it could be, if you're international, Waterstones, Booktopia, a lot of things. But our actual favorite is bookshop.org. There is a UK version. I'm not sure if it's available in other countries, but it gives you the online shopping experience that you crave while also putting that money into a fund that individual and independent bookstores can become a part of, so that you are supporting independent bookstores in this very critical time in publishing. Our bookshop affiliate link is linked down below. We will periodically be recommending books on this channel, and those will probably have bookshop affiliate links in addition to Amazon affiliate links, so that you can purchase them and also support us a little bit while supporting the publishing industry. Another pro of not only bookmarking Barnes & Noble or Amazon or Bookshop is that you can see how different websites and retailers organize their stuff, and it will help you understand the different nuances of the publishing industry. Lastly, I would recommend bookmarking some publisher websites. If you bookmark your ideal publisher, you can look at their submission requirements. You can also have the aspiration of seeing where your book will land on their website, the same way that you should be looking at the other book retailers that I mentioned right before. And there you have it, 18 essential websites for authors. You're going to want to check these pretty regularly. They are not something that you should just let languish in your bookmarks folder, and it will really be a source of information for you along your publishing journey. Speaking of information to help you along your way, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any future advice from us.